And we do these things at the Poetry Wing Ding where we start them at the hour. And so right now, if we could kind of start getting back to our seats and not visiting, we can get our next performer up here. It's a big deal when these guys come up and perform, and you guys have been an awesome audience for all of them. Our next guest is Dan Kaiser. Dan Kaiser is a local boy from Astoria. Yep. And a lifelong fisherman, and he's going to tell you more about it, but please welcome to the stage Dan Kaiser.
Okay, I am an Astorian through and through. I was born right here in this community, and my family has very deep roots in this community. Both my mother's family and my father have been involved very deeply in the commercial seafood industry. My mother's family has fished this river for as far back as I can remember, and both my mother and father worked at Bumblebee Seafoods right here in Astoria, Oregon, right up until they shut the doors in 1980. That took us on a little bit of a journey all the way down the west coast of the United States to San Diego, on to Hawaii, and then even onward to American Samoa before I inevitably made my way back to what is my home, and that is Astoria, Oregon here. So that's my first piece. I've titled it Home. January 8th is the day they gave to me, born around the corner and just a few blocks up the street. My father was so proud. He worked for Bumblebee. My mother's side were fishers. This river was their dream. They set their nets adrift as the salmon swim upstream. Clifton was the town, and Marinkovich was the name. A family catching salmon, a legend in the game. As a young boy growing up, I watched them work in awe. The men were bigger than life, and their blood lived in my veins. I had a skiff and a piece of net. My drift it was, an inside set. I'd watch the men unload their catch. Sweet smell of money, that's what they said. As summer would near, they would all disappear. North to Alaska, they would all disappear. They would ready the gear, and north to Alaska, they would all disappear. I hoped as I grew older, they would take me with one day. That day did never come. The Bumblebee up and flew away. Elmore Cannery is where I would play, fishing off the dock as my father would work away. When they shut down Elmore, a piece of Astoria died that day. We would hitch a ride with that big B. San Diego and then Hawaii were just two of the stops for me. Yet destiny would have its way, and I would come home and fish one day. My first drift when I came back was on this river with my Uncle Jack. Yet that was not enough for me, so I packed my bag for the Bering Sea. As I look back and reminisce, the home of past does not exist. The pilings mark what now is gone. I walk the docks, I work the trade. Slowly I watch as the memories fade. I close my eyes, I hope, I pray to find my home from yesterday. Now, although I did cut my first check commercial fishing right here on the Columbia River, I really cut my teeth in the commercial fishing industry in the Bering Sea. I left for the Bering Sea in 1991 on a little boat called the Maverick. And I really found my niche in this industry standing on the decks of these commercial fishing boats. I could chase crabs in the winter, salmon, halibut, and blackcod throughout the summer months. And I became, in an essence, sort of a gun for hire because I learned very quickly that all those promises that the captain makes of future promotion to the wheelhouse are never going to happen. So you got to look out for yourself. So this one is called Boots on Deck because as any captain knows, the boots on the deck of that boat are the engine that drives the machine. So boots on deck. Who are the men who risk the most? They wander the deck, much like a ghost. The boots they wear are just like them, extra tough in the ice and the wind. We work the deck, we haul the gear. When the crabs are thick, we root, we cheer. The days are short and the nights are long. Through the freezing spray and sleepless nights, through the pain and exhaustion, you must keep up the fight. The deckhand, he dances to his own special song. A dime a dozen, some captains say. My gear, my boat, we do things my way. A good crew can be hard to find. A good captain knows where to draw the line. Can you haul them faster? He yells from upstairs. I've never seen a pot hauled from that bastard's chair. The deckhand's life, I know it well. No place for man, a frozen hell. The ocean spits out a broken bunch. 5-star hotels and high-end scotch. Come noon the next day, you can't afford lunch. Good fortune is only a season away. We save for tomorrow, we fish for today. The pots keep on coming, there are bugs on the run. Stuffing the hole, we never had so much fun. More crab in the tank means more cash in the bank. You must find a reason for working so hard, so far from our family and all those we love. The family at home waits by the phone. When will Daddy call? When will he be home? The season has been so long, we don't have much left. Our energy's gone. One thing you know for sure, your brother's got your back, standing at the rail or high up on the stack. When all is said and done and the gear is on the beach, you feel it deep inside, and home is within reach. Now, there's definitely some challenges that come with being a young commercial fisherman in the Bering Sea, and that can be the big fat paychecks you bring home. There's nothing like a young man with a lot of wild-eyed energy and about $50,000 cash in his fist. So this one is called No Peace on Dry Land. Although I was born right here on dry land, I cannot find peace or work for my hands. From the first salmon I picked from the net to that last pot I slammed to the deck. The waters I work provide protection and peace. Yet the demons I leave at the dock in the light patiently wait for my return to dry land in the night. Sitting close on my shoulder as I take that first drink, the demons of dry land, now one on each side. Once back on the beach, there's a fight deep inside. The attitude it takes to survive at the sea. Pour me a double, I know what I need. The friends are many when you're ringing the bell, but it can be hard to find one when the handcuffs come out. A Disneyland dad was the best I could do. The struggle within tosses priorities askew. The shorter the stay, the less damage done. This stay on dry land can be so much fun, yet what is it, that thing that sends it awry? It could be the liquor or the salt on my fries. Depends who you ask, but I'm not a bad dude. A fight in the bar and another black eye. But back on the ocean, I'm a hell of a guy. Pull the chains off and let the pots fly. These 30-foot seas make me feel safe deep inside. It's the demons of dry land that gives me such fright. Yet home's what I fight for and why I work so damn hard. My days on the deck have now come to an end. I search for adventure to feed the void in my life. The demons of dry land still close by my side. It's time once again to give dry land a crack. Don't go so crazy and cut life some slack. The ocean can't save you. You're too old to go back. One thing's for sure, we never give up. Even when we fail, we get right back up. So even if it takes the rest of my life, I will search for peace on dry land till the day that I die. Now, as we would prepare for these big crab season, and I'm talking about going up to the Bering Sea in October and staying until April. A lot of our fisheries were staged right there in Dutch Harbor. It's a very interesting place, to say the least, but it is home for those winter months. So this is called Doing It in Dutch. Dutch Harbor was the place we would ready for the race. King crab in October, and barretti was still in place. Come January would be Opies. This truly was the test. We get the gear together, get fuel, load bait, and rest. The ice, the wind, the freezing spray, and that's just right here in Captain's Bay. Dutch Harbor is always moving at such a crazy pace. Some pound the dock, they need a boat. As days wear on, they still have hope. You walk the streets in your little pack, the name of your boat worn proudly on your back. The crew is tight, we drink, we fight. A girl behind every tree, that's 2 for you and 3 for me. The season's what it's all about. We start the grind, we move northwest. The days will pass with little rest. Return to Dutch, the boat is full. Unload the crab, more bait, more fuel. You make the most of your time on land. There are few limits, draw a check in hand. A place so cold and far from home, you wait your turn to use the phone. The kids are fine, they miss their dad. You say goodbye, your time is done. There's crab to catch, no time for fun. The race is on to catch the most, then back to Dutch to raise a toast. That's how it goes for months on end. Dutch Harbor at times is my best friend. When the season is done, gear's on the beach. There's no long embrace or sad goodbyes. Dutch Harbor sucks. It's time to fly. Now, the Bering Sea of the early 90s was every bit the heyday that the late 70s were up there in the Bering Sea. The Apelio quota was 300 million pounds. And young men were racing to Alaska with the dreams of getting rich. Yet there was one small catch, and that is the fact that you very well may die trying. The 90s in the Bering Sea crab fisheries were the deadliest of any fishery in the entire world. You would have to deal with the soul-crushing exhaustion of day after day in the bone-chilling cold. It was catch as much as you can, as fast as you can, no matter the weather conditions that were presented. And unfortunately, when you would sit there in Dutch Harbor having beers, getting your gear ready, making small talk with the fellows from the other boats, you knew as you looked around that there was a few of you that weren't coming home. There were about 1,400 men that participated in the Bering Sea crab fisheries, and you could almost guarantee that 5, 6, 7, 8 of those men were not going to be coming home to their families. So that's what this last piece of mine is about. It's called Bering Sea Strong. There is a beast that roams out west. He is tougher and stronger than all the rest. As the ice appears and the nights wear on, the winds, they play a wicked song. It is so much more than just a physical test. It's a drive to live and be your best. Of all the men that ride these waves, there is one stat we all look at. Some of these men are not coming back. The family at home, they hope and pray. They know full well he gives his best, wondering how he will endure this test. Every year we ring the bell, we close our eyes as they begin to swell. The children look and wonder why. Why my father? Why, oh, why? We never got to throw the ball. The hugs and kisses, we'll miss them all. I have known the pain of losing friends. I have had my tears freeze for them. There is only one thing that you must do. We pull the next pot and push on through. Yet it's not always the sea that takes these men. Some are just lost deep within. They cannot find peace upon dry land, and the other fisheries do not test their hand. So for all those men, both here and gone, fair winds, smooth seas, forever on. Well, thank you all very much for letting me be part of your Fisher Poets weekend here. And I tell you, if you're not already having a good time, I suggest putting a couple pumps of grease in the old rudder post, loosen up a little bit, and let Astoria know that the fishermen are in town. Woo!
Oh, thanks, Dan. Yeah, no problem with passion there. Follow his lead, you're going to have a good weekend.